I'm here with Erkan Mete at Gracie Schwarzwald. We're here in our new school, our new location, and we're going to continue on with our complete Gracie Jiu-Jitsu Self-Defense Course. And we're still focused on takedowns, which is an exceptionally important part of complete Jiu-Jitsu. If you can't get to the fight to the ground, then all your grappling isn't going to help you, or all your groundwork isn't going to help you. So right now we're going to go over probably the most iconic takedown there is, and that is the double leg takedown. There are actually variations of double leg takedowns, which we'll cover in the next few classes, or the next few videos. But we're going to go over a very sort of fundamental one. And there's a lot of details that you really need to pay attention to with this particular version. I'm teaching this first, and this is more of a sport version, because if you get the mechanics of this, the other versions, the more self-defense versions, will work for you. So we're going to kind of really break down all the important aspects of this takedown. Now, all takedowns are trips. So if I just come at you and grab you like this, you can just walk backwards and there's no takedown, right? So whether it's a sotogari, something I have to block, you either stepping back or moving forward, and then I have to facilitate you over that block. Okay, so in this one it's very simple. We're just going to block both legs. Now, again, there are always variations, so people have a tendency to go, yeah, well, I do it this way, I do it that way. That's fine. Always understand why you're doing something, though, the pros and cons. There is no perfect technique, despite what some jiu-jitsu videos might tell you. There's no perfect technique. There are versions that apply better, whether in the scenario or because of your physicality or your mindset. So in this one, we're going to go over the way I think is easiest for people to learn this one. And so we're going to cover some of the important details, starting with the distance. A lot of people have trouble with a double leg because they shoot from way too far away. Okay, unless you're Jordan Burroughs, Kevin Randleman, get close enough where you can shoot. And what I generally tell people is I want to be able to comfortably rest my hand on him. Okay, this is why a lot of times if I'm going to be using this as a striking situation, I want to make sure I can touch him first before I go for my double leg. So I know that I'm in range. In wrestling, a lot of times, we're going to be here where I can touch him, I can post on him, and I know I'm in range. Okay, so there's three parts to this in my telling: level change, penetration, execution. Again, we have people come in all the time, and we work double legs, and I see the same mistakes over and over. Okay, so the first is not doing the penetration, or not doing the level change. So what happens is they're here, and instead of dropping their level and then penetrating, they just kind of go down at a 45-degree angle. They just drop, let me do it with this knee, they just drop their leg straight down. Okay, the problem with this is, if I just come down to this, one, you saw how kind of painful that is. That can be banging, even on mats, that can be banging on the mat. But the other thing is, if I drop this way down, it's going to be easy for him to catch an underhook here and stop me. Or if this is striking and I go, I'm going to eat a punch here as I'm coming down. So the first thing is always our level change. Okay, so we're here, I can touch, I want to drop my level. Notice I'm not bending at the waist this way. I'm squatting this way. Now, my footwork. When I'm here, this is our normal fight stance forward. For the double leg, I want my feet a little bit more in line so I can push off a little bit stronger. So I'm not shooting from here, I'm actually going to bring my leg behind and push. Okay? So when I'm here, I bring my leg back and I squat. Look at my head. My head is upright, I'm looking forward. Where are you strong?
Ready to look at.
And what is going to happen if I shoot my head down? I'm going to get pancakes right into the ground, right? Now, to practice this, and also just in general, as a rule, I try to shoot double legs when they have a square stance. Can I get you to turn the camera? If I'm shooting double legs and he's got this stance, it's much harder for me to reach that back leg. It's much easier to go to a single leg. So when you're practicing this, have a square stance. Now for grappling and he has a modified stance, I can always pull him into a square stance or move him into a square stance. Okay, so from here, the first thing I want to do is drop my level. I always say I kind of want to look at his belly button. Okay. The next thing is, then I do my penetration step. So the way I always tell this, and you've heard me say this many times, it's like going down the elevator to the ground floor and then walking out, not jumping out of the fourth floor into the ground. So the first thing I do is I go down the elevator and then I walk out. Now, mistake two people do, they do the level change, but then they don't penetrate. They go like this. And notice I'm nowhere really, I'm not even into you. So when I do my penetration step, I want my foot to at least be between his feet. It's just like punching. You don't want to punch at me, you want to punch through me. When he does a takedown, right, just step through, you don't have to do the penetration. He doesn't want to do this. He wants to step through me and then continue the motion through, okay? That's the important part. So, I'm going to have him do it because my knee is still a little sore. He's going to first check, here. Okay, make sure you're not reaching. You should just be comfortable, okay? He's going to drop his level. Now look at this front leg. It's the front leg that penetrates and the front knee that drops. So he steps, and then here. Now notice his posture is upright and his head is here. We'll talk about that in a minute. That's it exactly. So what he doesn't do is drop his level and then just put his knee down. Well, he's nowhere close to me. Okay, so one more time. He drops his level, he penetrates here. Now, where people make a mistake, let me get you to face the camera. They get their stance. Okay, they drop their level, and then they put the back knee down and keep the front foot up as they step. It's this way. Go back. He's going to drop his level. He's going to pit step, and the front knee. Now, again, notice his posture. So we're going to come back to this. We worked on this in the clinch. When I clinch, I want as many points of contact as possible. Jiu-Jitsu is an art of control. Control comes through connection. If I grab him like this, where it's only the top of my shoulder, even if I hold on strong, he pulls away, he's going to break that hold because it's only one point of connection. If I come in and I'm connected much stronger, much more points, and he tries to pull away, it's a lot harder. So if I just shoot and I drop my level and I penetrate and I'm like this, sprawl away, yeah, he's going to be able to sprawl on me. Okay. But if he does his penetration and he's got good posture, and I try to sprawl, there's way too much connection all through here. Now, this gets us to the other mistake. This is why I don't teach this takedown as the first takedown. One, we talked about throughout our course. I like to teach in the beginning takedowns from the clinches because it's safer, people are more comfortable here, and then we work to what we are calling now free takedowns, okay? So what happens is people go to jiu-jitsu class, and if they actually ever learn to take down, it's probably this one. They come into class, they practice it a few times, then they go to their first tournament, and they go like this. They come out, and they shoot for the takedown with their head down, and they get guillotined, they get submitted, they spend $100, they had one match that lasted 20 seconds, and then they go, well, takedowns are too hard, I'm just going to pull guard from now. And they give up on takedowns, because they had this one bad experience. Okay, and it all comes down to their head placement. This is not wrestling, this is jiu-jitsu. If I give him ever the chance to get over my head, he's going to get over my head. Okay, so I do not want, and I see even, you know, people teaching wrestling for jiu-jitsu, they'll still, let me get you on this side. They'll still, I'm not going to drop my knee right now, they'll still shoot takedowns with their head to the outside. Not only am I going to get guillotined, sprawl, you can sprawl, shoot with your head on the outside. I can cross face here. So he needs to keep, I want to keep my head up, and I want to keep it just off the center line, kind of in this rib area. So when I shoot, I'm keeping my body up right now. When I shoot here, I'm this way. Look at my head posture is up. He tries to guillotine me now. Even if he can get over my head, he's not going to go break me down. I cannot emphasize this part enough. I see it all the time. Single legs and double legs. People come into our school and they're here and they're practicing like this. Okay. Head posture, spine posture. The spine back here, very small. So one more time, we're here, he posts, he drops his level, he steps, his head is on the inside here. Okay. Now, his hands are reaching around my knees. Okay. Don't grab up here or around the butt. Some people like to grab around the butt. I find that it's easy for me to start moving my legs back. Unless you're very strong, here. And for the finish, I want to be able to manipulate his knees. So my hands are curling around his knees. So one more time. Step 1, level change. Step 2, penetration step. Perfect. Now, once we got the penetration, he can drive me straight back, and that's effective, but if you start to attack me, my instinct is to move my hips back, right, which means you really have to drive. It's always easier to spiral somebody down. Okay, so what we're going to do is, as he comes in, he checks. Notice he's being a very good training partner. Every time he's checking. Every time check. Okay. Here he drops his level. He penetrates. Now this back leg is going to swing around. Here. Now, as it swings around, here, he's going to use his head. He's not trying to stand up with this. Right now, if he tries to stand up holding my legs, it can be hard. He's going to use his head on my ribs to start pushing me this way, allowing him to pick up that leg. So that's really important. So let me try over here. Come. Right, I drop my level, I penetrate, my leg swings. Okay, let's spin this way a little bit. So I'm here, my leg goes back, swings. Now, I'm going to start to turn my head and look. This hand is pulling the knee this way. This hand is chopping the knee. I'm not just blocking. Turn this way. I'm actually buckling that knee, okay? So my leg swings. I start to drive him to make it light. Now I can stand up. I'm going to bring my body up here, okay? And as I stand up, I'm going to run and cut the legs like this. Let's try it with you facing this way. So I drop my level, I penetrate, bring my leg out. I don't try to stand up. Right now it's hard. But as I drive my head, you'll see this leg get light, which means I can pick up this or drive off this leg. I drive. Now I'm going to keep running, and both my hands are going to pass this way. Here. The advantage of this, he can just do a normal takedown, a double leg, where he drives into me. But now, he's in the guard, okay? As well as I spoke about before, I can sprawl. But if he cuts this corner and pulls my legs through, walk. Yeah, you'll notice, here, you'll notice how he gets right past my legs, okay? As well as much harder if he gets in, and I am trying to sprawl for him to go that way. So, step 1, yeah, okay, let's make it 4 steps. Step 1, check. Step 2, level drop. So, if he comes and he drops his level, and I was, yeah, you see, he's under it. It's harder for me to underhook. Step 3, penetration step. Step 4, change the angle, execute, right here. Good. Anything you want to add to that? No. All right. So that is our sort of fundamentals. Again, you can tell this is not necessarily a street situation, but later when we show the street situation, it will be easier if you focus on these important concepts and mechanics. Keep your head up. Connect with your body, not the top of your shoulder. Okay. Change the angle, level drop, all of these things. Every time you practice, if you're just kind of doing a double leg like this, it's just wasted practice. Okay? It's just banging on your knee you don't need to do. And that is our fundamental double leg cut and core.